Texas, and he had suffered a lot of discrimination as a kid. Aaron once told me that he didn't know that the words Jew and boy were two different words until he was about 8 or 9 years old. So that's all he'd ever been called his whole life.
Oh my goodness.
He knew what it was like to be on the outside. And you look at his shows, and a lot of what his shows are about are people from somewhere else or on the outside. They get into another situation. And Aaron sort of always felt like that about himself, that he was an outsider. Even when everybody in the world was trying to get to him, he felt like he was on the outside. I had the pleasure of, being at his house when he notoriously he didn't like to fly. Like Sean Connery and Denzel Washington and Anthony Hopkins. And Anthony Hopkins turned around and saw Aaron and he goes, "Oh, hey, boss, how you doing?" And I was like, "Wait a minute, I call him boss, dude. What are you talking about?" And I was just more, I was like, wow, Anthony Hopkins. We walked away and I put my arm around Aaron and I said, "Anthony Hopkins is calling you boss? What's the deal with that?" And he said, "Oh yeah, a long time ago when Anthony couldn't get work, after he had had some bouts with some problems in his life, nobody would hire him. So I hired him in a miniseries I did called Hollywood Wives, and I hired Suzanne Summers to play his wife." And that started Anthony Hopkins back into getting work, started Anthony Hopkins back into wanting to work, and he was always very thankful and very gracious to Aaron because of that. He's got all the time in the world for you, and he's really nice. And if you respect him and you listen and pay attention to what he says, you'll learn an awful lot. You learn so much that other producers sometimes are afraid of you because they know you've been to the top of the mountain. That's what happens to me sometimes. Folks, I see right through these guys because I know what it looks like, what the real deal is, what a genuine creative mogul in this business is. A lot of guys out there trying to pass themselves off as that, they ain't. And like the guy said to Dan Quayle, "Dude, I served with Aaron Spelling. You know Aaron Spelling." And there isn't another one coming, by the way. We won't see his like again. Fulfill all the fantasies I had as a kid, and I'll play parts that allow me specifically to do that. I've read a script where only for like one page there's something that I've always wanted to do in a movie. I'll agree to do the movie and then, slug through all the other stuff to get to do that one thing because I just always wanted to do it. And that's the great thing about being an actor. And if you don't take advantage of those opportunities when you can for that reason, and I don't need to dress it up any better than that. They say, "Why are you doing this?" "Always wanted to." To the end of it, "Yeah, I just thought that would be cool." Wouldn't that be cool to do that, to fly or to jump off the thing or, Some people don't think it's cool, but I just always, I would see things on TV and want to do them. And that's what I made my life's work. CGI, were fabulous artists like Tom Savini and some of the guys that are represented here today. They can take you there. They'll sell you. They'll make you believe it. And it doesn't come down to this. Having said that, when it does come down to this now, we are able to realize some of the most fantastical imaginings of some of the most creative minds of all time. And it used to be, they were like, "Well, you just can't get there from here." That's a great idea, and that's cool that you thought that up, but how in the would we ever do that? Well, now someone's like, "Oh, here's how you do that." And then it looks like that, and a store, 10,000 guys? Okay, we got 10,000 soldiers. And that's kind of neat, and I think it's finding a good balance between those two things. Masterful filmmakers do that. That's for sure. And I was a lot older than the character I was playing, and I think some of that, if I had any maturity, would come through and make my guy seem a little bit older. I had teachers and stuff. I didn't know who James Dean was. I had people tell me I looked like him from the time I was, 12 years old. And I had to find out who he was. I was like, "Oh, that guy in that movie. Oh, shit, is that his name? Okay. That guy with the thing and the knife." And I love that. Because I'd seen his work, but it hadn't really dawned me. Giant was the one where it really hit me. I was like, "Oh, this guy can act. Look at that. He's old now. He's got the makeup. And But I didn't see it. I still, in a lot of ways, I don't see it. It's funny. I just worked with James Franco this summer on a thing that. And if you're alive, you've heard of it. I got to say to you two things. One, this isn't as bad as I thought. I'm kind of having an okay time sitting here with you guys and talking.
All right.
So I appreciate that. I appreciate the opportunity. What did I hear? Well, I'd been to Comic-Con once promoting Jeremiah, and I'm familiar with the overall dynamic of it and stuff. I have problems with anxiety, and I don't do well in crowd situations. Having said that, there's a real, you guys know what I'm talking about, there's a good family sense of this. We're all here for the same reason. We love this stuff. And I don't feel separated from you guys, and I like that. And sometimes when you do these things, it's a real don't feed the actors, keep them in a hole, kind of thing.
Wow.
And this is very nice, and I've had a chance to meet a lot of nice folks. Having said that, I don't know how often I'll do it because I get nervous and sweaty. But it's a great opportunity for me to gauge. One of the things that I've learned today is I should have brought some Jeremiah stuff because folks want it. And I hadn't counted on that. You know, that show kind of came and went, and I didn't know if people ever liked it or if anybody ever got to see it. Because, again, at Showtime, they kind of keep you in the dark, or they did that administration did.